Hello, and welcome to episode 3 of the Swim WV Splashcast. I am James Miller, the owner and operator and host of this podcast. I'm the owner and operator of Swim WV, and today we've got one interview for you. It's Kaycee Wheeler of George Washington High School. We talk expectations, we talk coaching philosophies, we talk lots and lots of good, like just a meat sandwich. Okay, just giving you a meat sandwich for swimming. Just picking her brain on a couple of things. It's great. It's going to be a great interview. But before we get to that, and before we get to the Region 4 scores, I need to tell everyone a big announcement. Big news, everyone. The state swim meet is going to be live streamed. So what that means is, please, RIP to my Twitter videos that you used to see, very little grainy stuff. They're gone. No live Twitter, Instagram things. Gone. RIP to my weird iPad videos, which is me standing on an iPad with a cell phone. That's gone. Okay? What it's being replaced with is amazing. 4 cameras all around. Zoomed in, high camera, zoomed in, lane 3, 4, and 5. It's just amazing. They brought in a play-by-play guy, and they also brought in a color commentator. Actually, didn't bring him in. I will be providing the color commentary for the state swim meet. So, not only do you get a live stream, which we've never had in the sport of swimming ever, but you're going to have someone that's going to be telling you, in lane 3, John Smith pulls ahead. Lane 4, oh, he's starting to slow down, okay? That's what the play-by-play guy's going to be doing. What I'm going to be doing, while he's doing all of that, I will be like, well, you see, John, the streamline off the wall that time wasn't that good. He didn't quite have enough streamline there. His legs didn't flip the wall right. He's starting to lose his powerful kick, that sort of thing. That's what I'm going to be providing. So it's going to be amazing. And here's how this happened. A couple days ago, I was approached by, I got wind of Video Productions wanting to do this. And he talked about how he could do this. And I said, well, I will give you some money. I will give you some money to make this happen. So I'm not the only one, I don't think, but I have no idea. I don't know those details. I don't know those. I don't know what sort of other things. I'm just a guy with a swim website, not affiliated with the WVSSAC. So I don't know what inner workings there. I just know I provided something to help make this happen. So what I need you all to do is you all need to watch. And you need to make sure that this is the biggest production Video Productions has ever seen. Okay, you need to make it huge. You need to make it so big that he needs to come back. Okay, Video Productions is out of Charleston. They've done basketball games. They've done wrestling tournaments. They've never done swimming. And this guy wants to do tons of swimming. But he will only do tons of swimming if there is tons of views, if just tons of people watching it. Okay? And of course, if we can afford to get him to come. So watch, because the more people that watch it, the more sponsors he will be able to get. And of course, if you're interested in sponsoring, send me a message on SwimWV, and we can talk details there. Okay, I don't want to get into that. That's that. But the more people that watch it means more sponsorship money. So I'm talking thousands. We need thousands of people. This needs to be the hugest event ever put on and ever seen by Video Productions. Okay? It needs to be huge. All right? I'm really excited. I'm doing tons of homework to make sure that I am ready, and I'm ready and rearing to go, because I'm going to be talking for about 7 hours about swimming. And you know me, I love to talk about the sport of swimming. So this is going to be an amazing news. And I need each and every one of you to be super excited. Share it. Share it with your parents. Share it with your grandma. Share it with your friends. Share it with your school principals. Make them have the schools watch it. Everyone needs to watch this. That's my message to you. And now on to the Region 4 scores. Well, hello, everybody. I have the coaches from George Washington. I have Kaycee Wheeler here. So say hello to everybody.
Hello.
Hello. And so if you could just tell the audience, because you had to tell me here right before we got on, how many years have you been coaching George Washington?
So I'm Kaycee and this is Felicia. She's my assistant coach, and we have been kind of tag teaming the GW boys and girls for the last 7 years. We both took a year off last year because we're a package deal, and I had a baby in October, so it was right at the start of swim season. But we're back, so 7 years.
Awesome, awesome. Now tell me something. Okay, so I remember George Washington years ago. Was it Miss Case? Was it Melissa Case? I can't.
Yep. Melissa was my high school swim coach, my sophomore, junior.
She was your high school swim coach. Okay.
Was.
All right. I want to know why I don't see you dressed like her on finals days. Because she used to have those glasses and just like that was like my favorite part of like George Washington.
We're just not quite as zany as she is, I would say. I personally am very competitive. It's all business for me.
Gotcha.
And Paluski as well. We're there to do a job and bring home some trophies, and I'm very serious about that day. Like I wish I had more loosey-goosey freedom, but I just am too hardcore on the day. So
I know. It was just funny. I just remember that was like my memory of George Washington with the funny outfits. But don't worry, we're going to talk plenty about that. Tell me about regionals. Tell me about like what you think went really well for George Washington at regionals.
What do you think? I mean, we are blessed with some very talented kids. We always say, it's our job to get them there, to put them in the right places, to, encourage and support them. But we have show up kids. I mean, they work very hard. When Corona happened last year, Maddie McLaughlin tied herself to a tree and swam in a backyard pool. These are the kind of kids that we are blessed to work with. So I think at regionals, we just, we did a lot of teetering with relays. Yeah, especially for our boys. Grant Ridenauer coming back was a definite win for us at regionals, a big helper. But, just success overall is all about those kids and how hard they work. And it's been a difficult year, and we haven't had the opportunity to have that many meets. I'm usually like a 12 meet regular season coach, and we had 4. So they, have worked really hard and just showed up that day. So I don't know that it has much to do with us so much as it did to do with how hard working and how motivated those kids are.
Awesome. Now, here's what I found fascinating also when I looked at, because again, I stare at spreadsheets. That's my job. I stare at times, spreadsheets. I'm that guy on Saturday that everyone's like looking forward to see, did they qualify? One of the most fascinating things I found out, and it's on your guys' side, you have, and I don't even know if you know this or not, you have 4 freestyle events for your guys. And then you have 11 non-freestyle events. Tell me, is that by design? Did it just happen that way? I mean, you have like 11 qualifiers in the non-freestyle events, and you have 4 in the freestyle events. Tell me about that.
So we're very numbers oriented. We always have been. We don't do anything by chance. The way we place those kids changes year to year. There have been years that we have been really heavy on our like sprint freestyle events, and years that we haven't. And this year we have a collection of boys with a deeper, like, quality skill set.
Sure.
And I don't know if you would agree with this, she probably would, but freestyle events are a coin toss. Anybody can win a freestyle
Absolutely.
event. And it takes skill to win a 200 IM. Not that it doesn't take skill to win a 50 free, but it's skill and some luck. I mean, there's a lot that, and we, this year and in years past, we've been lucky enough to have kids that are skilled enough across the board that we can place them in those kind of the 100 flies, the 100 backs, the things that other people might not be so comfortable with, and feel comfortable that they're going to, excel.
All right. So tell me about your mindset going into states. Like what are you thinking about? What is your goals? Is it, I mean, obviously it's to win the state championship. I mean, that, I don't think that's the surprise there, but how are you, what are you going to do? What mentally are you going to do to get to get to the state title that your goal is to seek?
I don't know. I guess just like I said, we have very mentally tough kids. So they are in the game. They are ready to go. Many people probably don't know this, but Kanawha County has very little access to pools. We have 8 high schools, and the pool we were practicing in flooded this year.
Oh no.
So we transitioned to 6 a.m. practices at a different pool, which had a issue today and is now not open. So we are just trying to keep the kids focused on getting to states, the end game. These kids are kids who show up for practice, but then on their own time go to the gym and do upper body stuff just to better themselves. So, these are mentally tough kids, and there's not a lot we have to do or say to them to keep them that way. So I think they are motivated. There is nothing better in the world, no feeling as a coach or an athlete than winning a state championship, and no better feeling than both of your teams winning. So our girls, I hate to be boastful, but I feel like our girls are the ones to beat. They are going to come out and they are going to put on a show. And our boys are extremely talented as well. I think there's a little bit closer competition for them. It could be a toss up in the boys, but they are ready, and they have waited since we did 3 weeks of practice in October. They have waited for this day, and we're just ready to watch them perform. So,
and just for everyone to know, I think George Washington might be one of the few schools, and Fairmont Senior might have done this, that have had the guys and the girls win the same time. That is such a rare feat to have the guys and the girls win the same year. So that's just a rare feat, just a fun factoid. So tell me, so I've asked this question to every coach that I've had on here, and it is the format change. And so your swimmers come in, they're very skilled. They've had lots of experience with pools. But the format change, the feeling I get from the coaches, it kind of helps the inexperience, because usually if you have a prelims and a finals, an inexperienced swimmer is going to they may not be able to keep up that form for regionals, preliminaries, and finals. So tell me, are you telling them anything different because of the format change being a one and done, or what are you telling them?
Yeah, take this. No. I think I try to get her to talk. What I have said the whole time is that I think a benefit for all kids, not just the inexperienced, but the trained and the inexperienced, is that they will, thank goodness, be well rested.
Yes.
We take these kids up to a state meet, and yes, it's about competition, and yes, we want to win, but also in a traditional year, they're sharing a hotel room with 3 of their closest friends.
Yes, they are.
So they are not getting a good 8 hours of sleep in. So, I wish that things would have played out a little differently. for them, but we are so grateful to just have a season at all, to be able to have a state championship,
Sure.
that it's hard to complain. So I think looking at the bright side of things, like the fact that they are going to be well rested, they're going to be with mommy and daddy. Our kids are. We're
Okay.
not, we're because of COVID, we're not doing joint rooms, we're not doing any of that type of stuff. And I think that's going to have they're not going to be up until 10 p.m. doing shaving parties and these things that are such great traditions. And I'm so sad that they're missing out on, because of the memories I have doing that and watching kids I've coached do that. But I really think it'll be a great advantage. I think they're going to come in just ready to go, well rested, well fed, and just that is a great advantage, I think, for anybody.
Now tell me, so for a program like George Washington, which for the guys team, for the past 10 years, you've either finished first or second. 8 of those 10 years, you have finished first on the guys team. And then for the girls team, I think it's, you might correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's been 5 state championships in the past 10 years for the girls team. So tell me, is there like, do the kids put added pressure to make sure they're not that team that like finishes third? All right, they don't want to be like, tell me, because I know I've seen this in like sports movies where like every year they're like, if the season goes on, they're like, we don't want to be that team, or you don't want to be that coach that like breaks that kind of streak. Tell me if that's kind of something that they think about or not.
Surprisingly, I see a lot more of that in our boys. I think maybe because they've had such a long, deep run. They are super competitive. And I would like to say that one of those 10 years, we only got second place by 1 point.
I do. Yes, that is very true. That is true. Yes. Yes.
I'm just saying, we were right there.
Yes.
That was a very disappointing year for me, for the kids. But yeah, they're competitive. I mean, they don't want to be the kids that give it up. I told them in the beginning of the year, we are competitive. So I, was talking to them and I was like, you are working on a legacy that I helped build as a swimmer, as a coach. Like, this is not just about you. This is about years and years of hard work. And, that may seem a little intense to say to a bunch of 14-year-olds, but it is the case. I mean, so yeah, they're hard on themselves. They do not want to be the ones who break the streak, who kind of are that mark on the record of our wonderful swim program. GW has always been so tough. And like I said, and I'll say it 1,000 times, it's those kids. They are mentally tough. They are encouraging to each other. They want to be the best of the best. And that's what gets us to where we are.
Now, perfect segue to this. You have swam for George Washington. So
I did.
I didn't realize there was a lot of this. I just thought I also swam for the school that I coached at a long time ago. So tell me, is there, what kind of pressures, or what kind of, is it like sentimental that like, for the 7 years, tell me about like coaching at your alma mater.
Yeah. So when I swam for GW, the girls teams, we won 2 state championships and got 2 runner-ups. Mm-hmm. So I always like to tout, I've both been on state championship teams and coached them. But yeah, I still sometimes am standing on that deck and the national anthem starts playing and I'm looking for the people like my family in the stands, or like my dad officiating. Mm-hmm. I'm 33 years old, but still, I mean, was a huge part of my life. So it is definitely sentimental to me. It's a source of pride to me. I'm invested in the GW community and especially the swim community. So, yeah, I mean, I can't explain it. There's no way to explain it. I literally, at the state meet every year, the national anthem starts playing and my whole body like just chills from head to toe, because I can remember every state meet I've coached, I've swam, every moment of that. And just, yeah, all those wonderful kids I've gotten to know along the way, and the people I grew up with. And it's wonderful. Swimming is such a great community. And, mm-hmm. and I want to keep giving back to it because it meant so much to me.
And I know I was talking to Emily Martin, the Parkersburg coach, and we both said that like there is nothing like finals with Scott Wilson in the blue jacket. Whenever he breaks out the blue blazer and like that beeper goes off that says swimmers take your mark in finals, and the whole place is completely quiet, because as you know, it is never completely quiet at a swim meet. So like that is like an kind of an iconic moment that we have here at West Virginia. Non-swimming question, I've asked every coach this too. Tell me, like, what is like a special tradition, or is there something that GW does that's really like a fun tradition that non-swimming related, every swim meet, maybe every state meet, maybe you don't get to do it this year, but is there like a special GW tradition that you guys always do?
I would say we're big gear buyers. Like we're huge on buying special gear for our teams. That's a big thing. But something that's a tradition for us kind of season long and has been interrupted this year, unfortunately, is we're big pasta party people.
Oh, I love pasta parties. Yes.
All the kids together every Friday before every meet, having our parents cook these amazing, wonderful pasta parties. And then on Wednesday to Thursday at state meet, we would always have a big pasta party at the state meet. So that's all a little sad that we're not going to get to do that this year. We did buy all our gear, so we still got that going for us. But yeah, just those. Our girls always wear like fun tights in warm-ups. They usually all get matching ones, which is a super fun tradition that's been going on for years and years. Sometimes they all braid their hair in cornrows or make Paluski do it. So yeah, we have lots of little traditions that are so important and so fun. And hopefully we can get some of that this year, but the kind of food lines and things like that are very,
they're very memorable. Well, thank you all so much for talking to me. It's great because I don't know if you know, I am from Martinsburg. So I'm like 5.5 hours away. So it's great to be able to talk to other coaches that like, the only time that I ever see like George Washington or the Parkersburgs is at the state meet, because it's just so far away. So thank you so much for talking to me. And I look forward to seeing you at the state meet.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.